Let's take a look.
Nation states or people interfering. A lot of that stuff is best rooted out at the level of kind of accounts doing phony things. It's effectively like intelligence, counterintelligence folks, counterterrorism folks, AI folks who are building systems to identify what are these accounts that are just not behaving the way that people would, and how are they interacting, and then sometimes you trace it.
Where is he shadow banned? Put my name on the Instagram search bar. See if you can find me. Do it. Look at this. Hassan Piker fans. Hasanabi tweets. Hassan Minhaj. Hassan John Kaya. Hasanabi posting. Hassan D. Piker 69. Hassan D. Piker page. Hassan D. Piker memes. Hassan D. _ Piker. You have to write my full username for me to come up. And I'm logged in on my own profile. Like, I'm logged in on my own profile and it still won't show up. Yeah, look at this. This is real. I don't follow my business account, but wanted to check your stories and I had a hard time finding you. Yeah. I mean, there's like, there are ways where you can find, there are ways where you can find, if you're shadow banned or whatever, or blacklisted or whatever, but your own profile never shows up in search. You come up for me fine without typing out the name. Is this because I'm in Canada? Maybe. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I'm not here to complain and cry all the time about like, oh, my algorithm is bad or whatever. It doesn't matter ultimately, and it's varying results. Okay. I love how we can be shadow banned with no due process, no appeal, no way of even challenging it. Yeah, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It still shows like, at least for the time being, it still shows what I'm putting out there to my audience, to the people that have already followed me. It just makes it much harder for new people to follow. It limits your engagement. Now, having said that, okay, the thing that is, what I'm talking about is a much larger problem. Like, Meta is so censorious on any sort of Palestinian sentiment, regardless of what Mark Zuckerberg is saying about like anti-DEI initiatives and whatever. Human Rights Watch did a report on it. Meta's broken promises, systemic censorship of Palestine content on Instagram and Facebook. Like Human Rights Watch was criticizing Facebook. They have had they've operated a major censorship regime on any sort of sentiment that is even remotely pro-Palestinian, so far as like to limit the engagement of accounts that have the Palestinian flag on them, on their descriptions. Like, it's crazy.
Down and sometimes you get some tips from different intelligence agencies, and then you can kind of piece together over time. It's like, oh, this network of people is actually some kind of fake cluster of accounts, and that's against our policies, and then we just take them all off. But
how are you sure? Like, is there a 100% certainty?
that were
that you are definitely getting a group of people that are bad actors, or is it just people that have unpopular opinions?
No, I don't think it's that for this. I think
But what I'm saying is, how do you determine?
Yeah.
Like, how do you at what percentage of accuracy are you determining it? Do you ever accidentally think that people that are going to get moderated are actually just real people?
Yes, I think for the specific problem around these like large coordinated groups doing kind of like election.
Yeah. Facebook literally tagged people as terrorists in their internal software for being pro-Palestinian. Okay, so understand that like these guys are not. I mean, this is like as straightforward as it gets. According to Amnesty and many other human rights organizations, Facebook played a significant role, which Mark Zuckerberg even apologized for, promoting violence against Rohingya, and that Meta owes reparations. Myanmar, Facebook systems promoted violence against Rohingya, the Muslims, in the genocide that took place. Facebook played a role in that genocide, an active role in that genocide through WhatsApp specifically, where misinformation was spread about the Rohingya Muslims.
Interference or something. It's a large enough group.
But hey, he does BJJ and he took steroids, TRT, and he got hit with a Dominican ray. So obviously he's cool now.
We have like a bunch of people analyzing it. It's like they study it for a while. I think we're probably pretty accurate on that.
Yeah. Not really relevant, but I think Zuck got on TRT, and I think it completely changed his whole personality and pretty much his approach to life, which happens. It's funny to watch a kind of meek, damp, befuddled alien guy slowly become a what's the move tonight rich white guy.
At the beginning,
here it is. More anti-vaxxer nonsense, and how Facebook complied with the state demands.
It kind of seemed like, okay, we should give a little bit of deference to the government and the health authorities on how we should play this. But when it went from 2 weeks to flatten the curve to, and like in the beginning, it was like, okay, there aren't enough masks. Masks aren't that important. To then it's like, oh no, you have to wear a mask. And, like everything was shifting around. It just became very difficult to kind of follow. And this really hit the most extreme, I'd say, during the Biden administration when they were trying to roll out the vaccine program. And I'm generally like pretty pro rolling out vaccines. I think on balance, the vaccines are more positive than negative. But I think that while they're trying to push that program, they also tried to censor anyone who is basically arguing against it. And they pushed us.
You know what's funny about a lot of this stuff is that the overwhelming majority of the initial wave of content and content moderation surrounding COVID didn't happen under the Biden administration. It happened under the Trump administration, which is why I'm always shocked whenever these guys like make it seem as though Biden was already the president. Like they openly lie about this. It's so funny. Like even Matt Taibbi's assessment of government-backed suppression of speech during the hilarious Twitter files, it happened under the Trump administration. Trump was the president at that time. And they still, for some crazy reason, run with this insane narrative that it was actually the Biden administration that did this. I hate the Biden administration. I've criticized it time and time again. But it is mind-boggling to me how many people openly go along with this concept as though he was already in charge, as though he was already controlling the FBI before he won the presidency. I feel like I'm losing my mind. It's like so basic. Such an obvious lie. Why? Why is it? I don't know. It's so stupid.
Super hard to take down things that were true, right? I mean, they basically pushed us and said, anything that says that vaccines might have side effects, you basically need to take down. And I was just like, well, we're not going to do that. Like, we're clearly not going to do that.
That's also a lie.
That is kind of inarguably true.
Who is they? Who's telling you to take down things that
it was
that talk about vaccine side effects?
It was people in the Biden administration. I mean, a lot of this is documented. I mean, because Jim Jordan and the House had this whole investigation and committee into the kind of government censorship around stuff like this, and we produced all these documents, and it's all in the public domain. I mean, basically, these people from the Biden administration would call up our team and like scream at them and curse, and it's like these documents it's all kind of out there.
Oh, did you record any of those phone calls?
I don't think we but I think
I want to listen.
I mean, there are emails. the emails are published. It's all kind of out there, and they're like, and basically it just got to this point where we were like, no, we're not gonna take down things that are true. That's ridiculous. They want us to take down this meme of Leonardo DiCaprio looking at a TV talking about how 10 years from now or something, you're going to see an ad that says, okay, if you took a COVID vaccine, you're eligible for, for this kind of payment, like this sort of like class action lawsuit type meme. And they're like, no, you have to take that down. And we just said, no, we're not going to take down humor and satire. We're not going to take down things that are true. And then at some point, I guess, I don't know, it flipped a bit. I mean, Biden, when he gave some statement at some point, I don't know if it was a press conference or to some journalists, where he basically was like, these guys are killing people. And I don't know, then like all these different agencies and branches of government basically just like started investigating and coming after our company. It was brutal. It was brutal.
Wow.
Bro, it is crazy. These guys are like, they just dropped, dude, it's so funny that they just like dropped liberalism, which was already on aesthetic grounds anyway, like a bad habit, and are just now engaging in the same insane conspiracies